Welcome back. In this video tutorial, we want to continue where we stop. In our last video tutorial, we talked about array properties. Okay, let's move on to array methods. Okay, like I said earlier, whenever we create an array, it has an inbuilt properties and inbuilt method, and we have talked about the inbuilt property, which is length. This property is the property we use to count the number of values we have in our array. Okay, now let's move to methods. Okay, what do we have in the list? Concat. Okay, concat, just like the name, we use it to join two array together. We use it to join two array together. Okay, let me push this down. Okay, let me just remove this. Assuming I have another array. Okay, let me see. This array is okay, executives. Let me say the array is executives. Okay, it says new array. Okay, I started adding executives here. Let me say Mark. Okay, I say the cap. Okay, I say, what other name do I use here? Okay, I say White. Okay, Mr. White. Okay, I say Jane. Okay, now we have two arrays. Array for this array people, variable, and then executives. What about if I want to join these two arrays together? Okay, that calls for this method concat. Okay, for me to join this array together, I have to create another variable. Let me say this variable name is all underscore people is equals to this time around. I want to say people concat. You see dot concat. Okay, inside here I want to say executives. Okay, people concat executives. Okay, here now what I'm trying to do is I am pulling this array, joining it with executive. So what I will have here now is these people will come first, whereby this executive now, this array here, okay, will join this guy from here. Okay, if I do executive concat people, it simply means I am bringing executive first, then adding it, joining it people. Okay, I'm trying to join it with people. Okay, let's test this and see. Okay. Okay, it's not showing. Let's see where this is coming from. Okay, actually we do not even write a code that display anything. Okay, let's say document dot write. Okay, I want to write this in the document. Okay, what we want to write now is all underscore people. Okay, don't forget to end with semicolon. Okay, we have joined this together on this variable. We use this variable we created to join people and executive, which simply means people will come first and executive will follow suit. Okay, let's test this code once more. Okay, you see we now have what we have here. Okay, you see it like this because I zoom this page. Let me zoom it out. Okay, you see now we now have all the peoples here first, then we now join it with the executives. Okay, going back to the code, assuming I says join executives first, executive comes first here, then I concatenate it with people. What I'm trying to do, Control Z. Okay, this is a mistake. Copy this. Okay, what I'm trying to do here now is this comes first where this is joined. Okay, I want you to understand how this concatenate works. The one that is inside this concatenate is the one that we join to this guy. Okay, here now we have to see the executives first. See the executive first here. Okay, now joining it with this. What about if we join executive with executive? Okay, let me say I join this and this. I have not tried this before, but let's see the result we are going to get, whether it will join it 2 times. Okay, you see executive comes first. Okay, it's equally joining to another one with executive. Okay, but this is no programming. Okay, we are just testing something out. Okay, this is the function of this concatenate. concat, sorry, to join two arrays. When you join it, you assign it to a variable and you display the variable, guys. Okay, this is for concatenate. Okay, we want to move to join. Okay, let's move to join. Now I will still use what I have here to talk about this method join. Now we have joined these two things together here and we are displaying it like this. Okay, the function of this method join is to determine what we are going to use to separate this our array. Okay, it will determine that. Okay, now what am I going to do now? Let me comment this first so that we will not confuse ourselves. Okay, let me just say I'm writing document.write, okay, people. Okay, let me just focus on this. I will still come back to this. Okay, here now, when we say people, we are listing out everything here. Okay, let me just test it out. Okay, you see we are listing out everything in that people array. Okay, so when we say join now, we are determining what we want to use to separate what is in this array. Okay, like I said, this join is a method. Let me just give a space so that we'll see what I wrote. Okay, you see it, people.join. Okay, if I put something like this, there will be no difference. It will still display something like this. Okay, but the function of this join now is to determine what I will use to replace this comma. Okay, determine what I will use to replace this comma. Okay, what about if I say if I just give a space here? Okay, first of all, quote, I give a space. Okay, simply means I want to replace this comma, okay, with space. If I refresh, you see that I have replaced this comma with space. Maybe I want to list my array like this. Okay, that comes for me to use join. Join gives me option now to change what I will use to separate my values in the array. Okay, what about if I use minus like this? Okay, and two space beside it. Okay, if I refer, you see what I now use to separate these values in this array. Okay, let me test this out. Okay, break line. You see I have listed it like this. Okay, some people would like to do something like this using listing stuff in a way they can do it, but what I'm trying to say is this join, okay, is what we use to determine what we are going to use to separate this, especially when we do break line. Okay, we break it and list it like this. But if you just display this without this method join, okay, just like the way we do with people, it just lists everything like this, separated with comma. Okay, now this is the function of join. Now let me go back to the one of all people. Okay, coming back to this guy. Okay, since we have joined these two arrays together, okay, which is what we did here, we can equally add it join to separate it. Okay, if I refresh this code now without doing anything now, without adding join, you see we have a list of all the values after we have joined two arrays together. Now when I use this dot join now, we are going to break them down and list them like this. Okay, if I do something like dot join, okay, dot join, remember you put it in quotes. Okay, I break line. Okay, if I refresh this code now, it will first of all concat these two together and now use this join now to break them down and list it one line per values. Okay, you see what I have. Okay, the dot join here, whatever thing you put here is what JavaScript will use to separate what you have in the list. Okay, this is for the join method. Okay, now we are moving to the one of pop. Okay, the function of pop here, just like the name, we want to pop something out. We use it to remove the last value from the array. Okay, let me continue with this. Let me continue with the executive. Okay, let me say I do something like this. I remove this join. Let me just leave this people like this. I want to use executive to test this. Okay, let me comment this out as well. Okay, so that I only have to write in the document executives. Okay, coming back to my code, you see I have the list of values in executive array. Okay, I want to talk about pop. If I say dot pop like this, pop, okay, what this will do is to remove the last value from this array. Okay, let me refresh this and see what we have. Okay, you see I am seeing Jen. Okay, because this is the one being removed from the array. Okay, I say executive.pop, which is I'm removing this. Now when I say document.write this for me is write that one you have popped out for me. Okay, what about if I do something like this? Okay, I put .pop here, then I now display executive. Okay, what I'm trying to do now is I am removing this last one. After removing it, I now display what is remaining in the array. Okay, which is now this executive. If I run this now, I'm going to get Mark, Jacob, and White, because this pop have already removed Jen from the list. Okay, you see what we have now: Mark, Jacob, and White, whereby Jen have been removed from the list. So this pop actually is used to remove the last from the array. Okay, what about I says all people? Okay, all people.pop. Then I'm displaying all people this time around. Remember, all people is a combination of this, and here I will say people comes last, which means if I am popping, since this array is joining this here, it simply means I am popping out this WIK week. Okay, once I pop it out, I will be only left with from Mark to Jen and Peter to this. Okay, let us check it out. Okay, you see what we have. Okay, this is the function of pop. Okay, you can pop something out, then join it together and divide it, or something of that nature. Okay, let me just move this. Okay, let me still use push. Let me still use push. It goes in line with just an opposite of this guy. Okay, so that reverse and sort, okay, will be a kind of together. Okay, this pop and push goes in hand. This push is to add, okay, whereby this pop is to remove, just like we have seen in the video tutorial. Okay, back to the one of push. Okay, let me just comment these things out. Okay, what about if I says let me say executive this time around. Okay, executive.push, just like the name push, I am pushing some certain things inside it. Whatever thing I put here is what I'm pushing inside this array. Okay, let me say I'm pushing something like bat. Okay, and I equally add John. Okay, these two things now have been added to this list. Remember, pop removed the last one, whereby this push now will now add bat. After Jen we now have bat, and after bat we now have John. Okay, let me display this and see what we now have in executives. Okay, I copy this here, paste it here, remove this comment. Okay, because I want to display executives. Okay, now executive will now have Mark, Jacob, White, Jen, Bart, and John. Okay, because I have pushed some values inside it. Okay, you see now, this is what I pushed. Okay, what I push normally comes at the end. Okay, what about if I remove John and push only Bart? Okay, you see that if I test this out, see, it's only Bart that I will have. Okay, this is for the push. Okay, you see that pop, we use it to pop out something, push, we use it to add. Now I want to talk about the reverse and the sort. Okay, that will be handled. Okay, let me just finish it in this video. Okay, so the reverse, just like the name, is to reverse what we have in the list. Okay, what about if I do all people here? Okay, all people dot reverse. Okay, like this. Let me comment this. Okay, okay, we know that all people has the combination of executives and people. Okay, now it starts from Mark going this way. Okay, after Jen, it now add Peter, Paul, James, Mike, this and that. Okay, all of them list like that. Now if I do reverse, this now comes first. The function of this is just to reverse the list. Okay, let the one that comes last becomes the first one, just a kind of turning this all over again, reversing it, just like the name. It will now start with this, followed with this, followed with this, this, Jen, White, Jacob, and now Mark comes last because we are reversing what we have in this list. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, you see we have reversed what we have. Okay, that's the function of reverse. Okay, what about sort? Let me so that you can see the reason why I say sort and reverse comes the same way. Okay, look at this sort. If I say sort, I am trying to look at here the method. The one we now have is sort. That's the one I'm trying to tackle this time around. When I say sort, I am trying to sort this in alphabetical order. What this sort will do is to arrange this in alphabetical order. The one that comes first in alphabetical will show in that list. Okay, now we have Jen. I think J comes before M. Okay, then M comes before all these stuffs. Okay, let me just, as I sort it, you will see, look at what we have in the list. Don't forget, we have this. Okay, and we have this in the list. Okay, once we have concatenated these two and have it in the list, this sort will now sort this for us in alphabetical order. Okay, now let me sort it. You see what I have now: Jacob, Mark, James, Jen, Mike, Paul, Peter, White. You see, we just sort this out. Okay, but there's something confusing me. I have Jen and James, okay, before Mark. Is it because I write this in small letter or what? Okay, let me just be sure. Let me put them in capital letter, or even put this Jacob in capital letter. Okay, let me just put Mark in capital letter. It seems that the capital letter is a kind of more in the first list than the small letter. Okay, let me say that all of them are in small letter. Okay, so that this will sort very well for me. Okay, you see it now, sorting very well for me. Okay, let me just put this in capital letter. I want to observe something now. Okay, if I put this in capital letter, let me see what will happen. Okay, you see it comes first. So in alphabetical order, the capital letter is a kind of comes first before the small letter. So any word that starts with capital letter will first of all show after being sorted, followed up with the one that comes with small letter. So when you want to sort, I suggest you change their lower cases to the same, okay, so that it will sort properly for you. Okay, this is sort now. Okay, let me say I have just done something like this now. Let me just space it here. Okay, I have sort. After sorting this now, let me see what we have in this sort first, since I'm writing it in the document. Okay, see, we have sorted this. Okay, after sorting this, I now choose to reverse. Do a kind of reverse again. Okay, what I'm trying to do now, instead of sorting in ascending order now, this reverse now will do it a kind of descending order. Remember, this starts with alphabetical order from A down to Z. Okay, now when I say reverse after sorting, I am trying to reverse what I have been sorting, which is descending order this time around from Z to A. Okay, let's test this code and see. Okay, first of all, let me just do this 2 times. Okay, let this first one be the sort. Okay, remember I first sort. Okay, I first sort before I started to a kind of reverse. Okay, let me make this thing very simple. Let me just make it very simple. Okay, okay, it says reverse. Okay, let me say, let me call this all people x is equals to is equals to this. Okay, then all people r is equals to this. Okay, look at what I did. I just create a new variable. I call this variable all people x just for the sorting. Okay, let me put underscore to avoid confusion. Okay, this variable is the variable I created. I says after sorting this, okay, after sorting it, put it in this variable. Okay, now the variable for all people underscore r, what do I want you to do? I want you to reverse the sorted array. Okay, so the sorted array now becomes all people x, so I have to put it here. So I says no. Okay, copy. Okay, no, this is not what I want. Okay, let me just write it here once. Okay, let me explain this before I start displaying to avoid confusion. Okay, don't forget to end your code with semicolons. Okay, bring this down. Okay, I created a variable known as all people underscore x, and I say find this all people. Okay, this we have created here, and sort it alphabetically. Okay, now I created another variable which is all people underscore r, which is for reverse. Now I says find the sorted array, which is this guy. After sorting it, now reverse it. Okay, so first of all we want to display the one of sorted, okay, in our document. Then I will break a line. Okay, let me just add it here. Okay, I will break a line. Then after breaking a line, I will now display the one of reversed. Okay, remember the one we are reversing is the one that we have already been sorted, so that after sorting, reverse the one you have sorted. Okay, so that we'll see these two and see they are different. Okay, let me refresh. Okay, you see what we have. Okay, this is the one for, let me just go back to this code. Okay, the one for sorted, okay, is like this. It's sorted and reversed both of them, I think. Okay. Oh, I can't really understand why this thing is showing me this. I reverse this in this variable like this. Okay. I think I have to put this here. Okay, before I sort, before I reverse. Let me explain why. Okay, because whenever I say all people dot reverse, if I'm trying to call this after writing this code, okay, it will still reverse this. Okay, let me just say I created this, then I display it. Now I reverse it here. Okay, and now reverse it to save myself this first, since this thing is working like this. Okay, let me still leave it like this. Okay, let me refresh this code again. Okay, you see what I have. This is sorted in alphabetical order starting from A to Z, whereby this from Z to A. Okay, the reason why we are learning all these things is for you to know how to manipulate data in an array, so that anytime you are calling a data from database or from any source, be it API, you now know how to sort them and how to organize them. Understanding an array is very, very important in programming, guys. Okay, thank you guys. That's all we have for this array property and method. In our next video, we are going to talk about the associative array. Bye bye. See you soon, guys.